Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about backing up, which is something that nobody does, not many people do, and how file systems are organized. And just a real quick little video, but I think it's important because sometimes people just don't really truly understand what's happening in a file system. And so I just wanted to show you a couple of things I have here. File systems are nested. And what that means is that they have directories within directories, or they have folders within folders. The term directory is the same thing as saying the term folder. They do the same thing, they're not different. And so there you see on your screen just a little, screenshot of, documents and settings, has your username in it, it has my documents folder in it, it has my music, downloads, pictures, and that's actually, the old way of doing things. But these are nested folders. They're all nested. Doesn't matter if you have a Mac or Windows or Linux, they all follow the same principle. And that's because we use these machines and there's millions of files all over them, and you have to have some way to organize it. And this is the way they organize it. It's really important to understand that because I've run into a lot of people that I've tried to help out and they don't understand it and they don't know what happened to their file, and it makes them look really silly when they're at work someday. I can't find this file because they don't even know how it looks, right? To them, it's just this huge mess and they have no idea. So just remember that basically, when we look at Windows, we've got this folder that's called users, and in that is something named after you usually. And then there's a documents folder in there. So for example, James McBride would be right here. So it would be users / James McBride / documents. And it's the same on the Macintosh, except on Linux Unix systems, which is what a Mac is, they use a / instead of a /. Hence the reason on the internet they use /, because they were all Unix systems to begin with. And so users, this would be users, and then James McBride, and then documents. So realize that there's folders within folders. That's why searching is so necessary, because there's so much stuff in there. But you can narrow down that searching by going to your documents folder and typing in the search. Now, much more important is actually backing things up. And Windows has built-in backup as well as Mac has built-in backup. On a Windows machine, you would get a hard drive that you're going to use to back up. It's the cheapest method. And you plug it in, and then you, seriously, I'm not joking, you down on the search where it has a little white place for you to search, you type in backup, and it'll come up with file history, and you click it and you add that drive right here. You just click it and say, I want that drive. The default setting is for it to back up your documents, your music, all that stuff. You can change it if you want, but that's the default settings. It's that easy. Now, if you're thinking, McBride, doesn't sound easy, I don't understand a word you said, just go to YouTube. How to use file history Windows 10. Boom. How to back up on Windows. There's 1,000 videos out of it. 500 of them, right? They might be people you can't understand, but you'll find one that it will. And if you can't, let me know. I will actually make a video and put it out there. Now on a Mac, it's just as easy. You plug in the drive and it should come up and say, hey, do you want to use this as a time machine drive? And you say, use for backup disk. Bam, it's done. That's it. That's all you have to do. Well, that leads us to the next thing, which is what should I get to actually do that? These are really cheap. This is actually a little old, so you could up each one of these by 1 terabyte for that price. But basically what you need to do is just have more space than the files you need to back up. Now, I will tell you that the bigger that hard drive is, the more backups it'll be able to store, which is beneficial. If, for instance, you got some malware and it went through and started trashing your system, you'd be able to go back months, maybe even a year, and pull files out of that are just fine, that do not have a problem with them. So it does benefit you to have more space. Sorry, I'm minimizing all this stuff. Now this one is smaller, so that's like a handheld one, and it is hard to tell from the picture, but you can tell because it says portable. So if you have a notebook, it's nice to have one of those portable ones because you can just put it in your bag and take it with you. But you'll notice that for $10 more, you can get a whole nother terabyte on a desktop one. Now, the desktop hard drives, external hard drives, are bigger. They have their own power that you have to plug in, not just a USB, but they're faster because they have their own power that you plug in. So just be aware of that, that if it was me and it is me, I have desktop hard drives and they sit there and they're about that big, about that thick. And I plug it in and it's going to do the backup. If you're not going to do any of that, get your flash drive, plug it in, and back up the most important things that you have. Your English assignments, all of your college assignments, back that stuff up. The photos. Most people are totally unaware that you can actually take your iPhone, take that USB cable that's on one end and the lightning on the other, plug the lightning in, plug it in USB, and copy all those photos off onto your computer. I don't know how many people I know that have lost photos. Oh, I lost all these photos off my phone. You could have backed it up. That can happen. Same with an Android, right? It's a micro USB. You plug that in, you plug in the USB and boom, you can take it off. Doesn't matter if it's a Mac computer, a Linux computer, a Windows computer, they'll all be able to allow you to take that stuff off or copy it, not take it off, and back that up so you won't lose it. Take the time to do that stuff. And if you want me to show you how, come into class. You're not doing that particular assignment, so I shouldn't have clicked on that. But yeah, if you want to physically know how to do it, then say, hey, McBride, when can I come in and show you this? Or I'm actually going to buy that hard drive and I've got a notebook. Can you show me how this works? Yeah, of course. Bring it in. We'll get you fixed up.